Hi everyone, this is Sameer Singh Jaini here. In today's session, what we are going to do is we will focus on UK market. What are the opportunities in the market? What are the possibilities which exist out there, and how we sort of can collaborate and enter those markets. This session is largely only for those fintechs which are looking at this market. So I'm expecting very deep questions from each one of you because there's no reason why you should join this session otherwise if you're not looking at the market outside. Today we have with us the leadership team from DBT, and they will actually guide us on how to enter the UK market as such. We'll also get from Indian perspective. A lot of times our question will be, what is the value which is getting accrued in those markets? And we will have with us Vivek Singhal as well from Valuefy, who will actually guide us on what value he saw when we entered the market. So it's a very interesting session, which is going to be where all of us will learn what all are the possibilities of entering that market. What I will do is maybe I'll spend next few minutes. Just one second. Let me just open the session. Yeah, let me just open the session itself. So as I said, the focus is largely on how each one of us, if we are fintech founders or senior management of fintechs, if you're looking at UK market, what are the opportunities there? What are challenges? What are the support structures which UK government is offering to us into that market as such, right? So a lot of positives is what I believe we will all get through. My name is Sameer Singh Jaini, and I'm founder of the Digital Fifth. And I'm so happy to partner with DBT for this session. A quick view on who we are. We are one of the largest player on digital finance. So we work with a lot of entities on strategies, building journeys, processes, end-to-end on digital side. So we work with banks and BFC, each one of them. And of course, many of you may have heard more of us also from Bharat Fintech Summit, which is the one of the largest summits in India on fintech side. And we have also launched InsurTech Summit, which is coming on 20th of June in Mumbai. We largely work on consulting, partnerships, and training. I don't want to belabor more on what all we do because that's not a topic of today's session. These are some of the customers we work with, a large NBFC to large banks to mid-sized NBFC and tons of fintechs as such in the market with whom we operate. But I think, as I said, focus is largely on what is the potential of UK market for fintechs, how fintechs can use that market, UK as a placeholder to enter other geographies as well within Europe, maybe even US. And of course, we'll also learn on what is the support which is available, because when you go to another country, you're looking at advisory, right? I mean, you can't really Google it out. You really need a solid advisory on what all is possibilities, if there is support available, what is the process, what is the licensing, what kind of regulatory controls which come in place if you enter those markets. And all of that is actually given in complete details by the team here, the leadership team here from Jabir, Zenesa, and Siddhika. And I think it's very, very important that we learn from those who actually are driving this in the market. I think what we will do is largely spend around first 35 minutes on the UK ecosystem, what support is available. We'll also have a quick Q&A or session with Vivek from Valuefy on why Valuefy entered that market and what kind of challenges or benefits they are accruing, why he believes is the right place for you to get in. And of course, we'll spend maybe 8 to 10 minutes on a Q&A, less largely engagement. And of course, we'll have enough time. If you have questions, please do share on the chat your questions, and I'll come back to you and ensure that your questions get asked. I'll go through each one of your questions. So please go ahead and start sharing your questions right away if you're looking at UK market. I'm so happy to have Siddhika here. She heads the inward investment for DBT. We also have Jabir, who is again investment manager for DBT. We have Zenesa here as well as Vivek. So I think all of them will guide us on the session ahead. With this, I pause, and I think session is largely on how the Department of Business and Trade is supporting the fintechs in India. I'll pause now and hand it over back to Siddhika to take us the flow forward.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible and visible.
Great. Thank you. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Siddhika Banerjee. I'm from the British Deputy High Commission in Mumbai, and I head up our inward investment operations across Western India. I'm delighted that my colleague Zanessa from the Mumbai team as well as Jabir from our London team are both with us here today. I just wanted to start out firstly by a huge thank you to the entire team at Digital Fifth for collaborating with us here today to help and set up this webinar for Indian companies to so that we can share some information on why the UK is, the right destination for Indian fintechs to consider when considering international expansion. Just to give you a little bit of brief, so we are the team within the British Deputy High Commission that sits within the Department for Business and Trade, or DBT as we call it. So in India, we sit within the British High Commission network across the country. And what we do is we are responsible for the commercial ties between India and the UK. So we oversee all the commercial aspects of the UK-India relationship. This means in practice that we work with Indian companies, helping them to set up in the UK for the first time, and also help in Indian companies that already have an established base in the UK to grow and expand further from there. I think it's interesting for the audience to learn that there are over 900 Indian companies that already have a base in the UK. And in terms of projects, India is the second largest inward investor into the UK for 5 consecutive years now. So this is an area where we see immense amount of interest from Indian companies, and we have designed services to support more companies to go across. The UK has always valued the multiple benefits that international companies bring into the market, and hence the team at the Department for Business and Trade provides free, tailored and confidential services to Indian companies that are interested to invest in the UK. Our services vary greatly depending on the stage of plans, the sector of the company, and the kind of investment that you're planning to make. But typically, and my colleague Jabir will provide some further details about this, we work with companies at all stages to provide market research, information about clusters, events, free and discounted office space that may be available, policy issues such as visas, taxation, introductions to commercial agencies where required, for example, on immigration issues, and also help with arranging tailored programs to the UK in case you're planning to visit. Of course, like I said, the support would vary depending on what exactly the plans may be. But in practice, we would love to follow up with you following this webinar in case you have interest. We would form a team of 3. That would be yourself from the Indian company, one of our colleagues from London, such as Jabir on the line, and yourself. And the 3 of us as a team would work together to answer any queries that you have and help you to form an informed decision before you actually set up in the UK. I will stop now, but so that we can get to some more in-depth information about fintech in particular. But we look forward to your questions and to engaging with all of you through the webinar and after as well. Thank you. Zen, if I can hand over to you, please.
Thanks, Siddhika. I'd like to bring my colleague Jabir Ahmed, who is based in UK, to give an overview of the fintech UK fintech ecosystem. Jabir, over to you.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, and good afternoon to you guys. It's morning here. It's lovely to be here. I'm just going to load up my presentation. I'll stay off camera for the time being, just because I'm navigating 2 screens, but I'll pop myself on camera during our Q&A. Can you guys see my presentation? Because I'm more used to Teams rather than Zoom.
Yes.
Are you guys all right?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Let me just get this started. Well, first of all, thank you so much again. Thank you to Samir, my colleagues Anessa and Siddhika for organizing this great event. It's a privilege speaking to you guys. My name is Jabir. I'm based in the UK, Department for Business and Trade. I'm actually based up in Newcastle. And like Siddhika said, we are a organisation that wants to support. Obviously, we're part of the government. The services that we provide is totally free and confidential, and it's to really support your potential in the UK, to really support your growth plans. We want to be seen as open for business, and the UK fintech ecosystem is growing, and we want to tap in to an incredible market like India and do more, and especially with this exciting time of debate around the free trade agreement and how that looks like. So I think it's a really incredible time for UK and India partnership, and my colleagues are doing an incredible job to really to drill that home to you guys, and we're here to support as much as we can. This will be a really high level overview, and obviously we will do follow-ups, and we can do more bespoke events or presentations later on, like Siddhika mentioned. And our remit basically falls into two ways we can do. We inform our clients by helping you understand the UK market, and we help as the connector. We help you connect to the fintech ecosystem, and we help you grow, expand, and of course scale. We don't just take you to the UK and that's it. We forget about you. We really want to continue that journey with you. The only thing that we can't do is business development, but like Siddhika said, we can really highlight some of the events that you guys should be attending, and of course make the introductions wherever we can. So just to get kind of started, the why UK, and the kind of high level overview as to why you should be considering the UK. The UK is the most attractive investment destination in Europe. It's globally connected. It's it's first in the G20 as a globally connected economy, which means that if you come to the UK, you can use that as a launch pad and go to other countries, and you'll be truly respected. And again, equally, we can support that as well. It's the fifth largest economy in the world, with a market of 66.8 million potential customers at your disposal. And the the important thing is that there is a bit of a well functioning ecosystem in the UK. With our with EY, they did a bit of a report where they said a well functioning fintech ecosystem is typically built on four core attributes, and I truly believe that the UK does have all these four key elements to make our economy truly great, and a great place for you guys to come and expand and grow. So we will go into this a bit more in depth as we go along, but we do have the talent, the demand, the policy, and the capital flows to be a leading country within the fintech sector. And onto funding, which might be important to a few of you guys on the call. This is a stat taken from 2021. Obviously, it has slowed down slightly with tech bubble slightly cooling off, but we are seeing a slight increase again in fintech investment. But in 2021, investment in UK fintechs grew to 37.3 billion, with London alone as a city attracting more investment than the whole of the EMEA region put together. And what we've noticed is the payment sector is being the most attractive, and it continues to be a great source to kind of attract that investment. So when we talk about the demand for fintechs and the demand for the products you are looking to launch in the UK, there is a growing demand to change the way UK consumers want to bank. We've got a well-established financial services sector, but it needs updating, and we're seeing a lot of clients wanting to use different ways to bank, and obviously business as well, the way they want to bank as well. The FinTech Pledge, as you see, this was a pledge made by a leading, the kind of leading accelerators, and also the kind of stakeholders within the industry, along with the Department for Business and Trade and our Treasury, to make sure that the FinTech Pledge and the FinTech drum is kept getting beat, and we are growing this sector, and we are doing more to diversify the sector and attracting more investment into the area. And this is a government-led objective, which shows the importance of fintech within the overall financial services ecosystem. And we all see the UK as being three key driving factors, as I kind of alluded to before. London is obvious. So when we speak to fintechs, they always say we want to come to the UK because London is a great place to set up and do business, and that's true. It's got 64,000 financial and professional service firms, and it's a huge pool for fintech and capital raising. But as we'll see later on, it's not just about London. We have got some great ecosystems throughout the UK. The B2B SME ecosystem is a market that we're seeing increasing really well and doing and performing really well with international investors. The UK SME market is really large, but the UK market does want to see diversification. It does want to see new players entering the market, and it does leave opportunities for companies like yourselves to come in and really disturb the market. The B2B, where consumer adaptation rates are really high. Again, the B2C, we are seeing quite a lot of innovative companies coming in with the green financing, the kind of apps, the savings apps, to really modify the way we do banking in the UK. And I think the UK market is seen as slightly behind other emerging markets like India, like Saudi Arabia, and even Brazil. When you go to these countries, you see B2C, sorry, really flourishing. And I think the UK is catching up, and that's why we need investors like yourselves to come in and really shake up the market. And as you can see, there are opportunities across many fintech subsectors. I think when you have a think of fintechs, people get lost in how many different subsectors there are within fintech. So what we're seeing is a really robust ecosystem being built, and a lot of demand for stuff like paytech, regtech, and AI, which are all traditional investment types that we've seen. And we've worked with Zanessa and Cidica on some of these incredible companies coming through, and they are the most common. However, big tech, insurance, and also and wealth tech, along with cyber security, are all gaining momentum as well. I won't go through word by word because these slides are quite wordy, but we're more than happy to share these slides as well. And for example, you can see with RegTech there, it's a £50 billion a year investment opportunity. There's loads of opportunities within digital banking. Capital markets is a big one as well, with large pension schemes and the way we're looking to really enhance that the investment pension pools that we have in the UK. Wealth tech, like I mentioned, is huge. There's a great population in the UK that want to adapt to different ways they can tap into wealth tech. And insurtech as well. I know some of you mentioned an event that they're launching and hosting soon. And this is a big market that we're seeing. And it's a big market we want to see coming from India as well. And it's something that we're working with the guys to do. We're seeing a lot of cybersecurity firms coming in that specialize within financial services and the fintech sector. So they really complement each other. It's not just a tech business. They are really looking to tap into that fintech market as well. So as you kind of understand, I know India is really good for this. The ecosystem needs to be really strong. And I truly believe that the UK ecosystem is really well developed and supportive. I'm just going to highlight a few. Again, there's a lot. And again, our aim would be to speak to you individually and understand what your needs are so we can start linking in you with some of these incredible trade associations and support organizations as well. So you've got stuff like the City of London Corporation. They are the governing body of the Square Mile. So when you think of the Bank of England, the Treasury, this is where the City of London kind of manage all the big kind of banks and everything are in that Square Mile. So they're almost like the representative of the Square Mile. And funny enough, I don't know if you guys remember, but the king has to go and pledge allegiance to the City of London when he got made king, because it's seen as a separate part of London, and it's a fascinating place, and the guys do a lot with DBT to make sure that we keep attracting investment into the UK. FinTech Alliance is another good one. They do a lot with Department for Business and Trade to increase awareness, provide regulatory feedback, and create spaces for fintechs within their offices and spaces they have. They also do a lot of events with DBT as well. So again, if you're interested, we'd be love to kind of let you know how we can get you involved. London and Partners are the promotion agency for London. I believe they do have an office in India, and my colleagues do work really closely with them. And again, a really strong advocate of how London is doing. I think I skipped one by, but again, with trade organisations such as Innovate Finance, City UK, UK Finance, and Association for Foreign Banks, all promote and support the industry. And like I said, we can make the necessary introductions to help you understand the sector and support your growth. And again, present opportunities for you guys to really do some business development and grow your understanding of the market. So this is the kind of main section, I would say, the kind of main area where our clients are really asking the questions around UK regulations and what they are and how they do it. So the UK has two key regulators, the Financial Conduct Authority and the Prudential Regulation Authority as well, so the FCA and the PRA. The FCA promotes the competition within the industry, and the PRA seeks to reduce the risk within the markets. This was all one body before the economic crash, and they kind of split it up. So the FCA is in charge of promoting the industry, like I said, and helping investments come to the UK, but also kind of regulating the firms. And the PRA is just there as an overseeing body to make sure that the risk is removed from it. In my opinion, and I had to say this amongst events when I go to, I think the UK is viewed as best in class, and you do hear that from clients that you work with who have gone through this rigorous process. It is seen as a badge of honor, as a client described it, when looking to expand to new markets. The FCA are always looking to keep up with innovation and in touch with industry. They are becoming very commercially focused. They do have incredible sandboxes that you can join, and very open to kind of innovation and listening to new ideas. And that all came from the 2021 Strategic FinTech Review called the Khalifa Review. And like I said, they offer two key sandboxes, the regulatory sandbox and the digital sandbox. And they are looking to launch the AI labs as well, as the industry becomes a bit more AI focused, and we develop that as well on that. So like I said, the FCA is the main regulatory body in the UK. Almost all firms and individuals promoting or selling financial services or products in the UK must be authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. The FCA takes the authorization takes up to 6 months, and if your application is complete, but it could take up to 12 months if your application is not complete. And we always advise you to kind of check in with a law firm or a consultancy firm to help you go through this process, and we can make that for you. But to kind of demist any kind of rumors that clients might have that it's a quick process, it's not. It does take time, but the FCA will work with you on how they can make it a bit better, and we're here to help and support that as well. And in terms of, as you can see, you do need to be ready, willing, and organized. So you have to get everything in order to make sure that the application is does go through without any challenges, and they will be quite fair on you as well. They will come back and address any points, work with you to address the points. But the main thing for you guys is to make sure that you have a full business plan ready, that you can show the FCA that you're here for the long term, that you want to create jobs, that you want to invest in the UK, and you're looking to diversify the the financial services market, and just stand a good chance. The fees do range from around £270 to £217,500, depending on the complexity of the application. And again, it's something that you need to work with a lawyer or a regulatory firm to make sure how that works and when that's payable. An ongoing fee and regular checks will also be implemented just to make sure that you're doing what you say you're doing and the financial market remains key. And again, with UK fintech regulators, what we're seeing is, especially on the work that we do. So as part of my job, I work with a lot of new to UK clients. So clients like yourselves who are exploring the UK for the first time and really want to understand the market and get to know the market. And from my experience, what we're seeing is UK fintechs generally want four things. They want either a full banking license because they're going to be offering an end-to-end banking solution, or they want electric money institution license. So these are typical payment companies that are looking to come in. A payments institution license. So that includes payment, money transfers, payment processing, and merchant inquiry services, or a small payments institution, so the SPI license. So this is quite small, but you're quite limited to the things you can do, and it goes by turnover as well. And again, equally, when you are ready to apply, or when you're going through the process, that the FCA and your advising body will be able to tell you which kind of where you sit and where you fit in. So in terms of setting up in the UK, we've made quite a simplified version for you. Obviously, there are going to be slight changes the way you go on it, but we think it's really easy in the UK to get set up. It's really business friendly, but we do again advise that you get proper advice by our accountants just to see how you should structure your business, A, from a taxation perspective, and B, just to make sure that you're compliant and safe, really. So this is a really simple timescale. So decided on legal structure. So you can either be a limited company, or you can be a subsidiary or a UK branch. So for example, some of the banks we work with, some of the Indian banks, they're a subsidiary of the UK, subsidiary of the HQ. So they're acting as a subsidiary. But a lot of the Indian companies that we work with, they come up and set up their own limited company or subsidiary. So again, really good to understand how that all works. So all this typically takes a day to do. So you would just register with Companies House, you choose your company name, you have to have an address for the company. So this could be either your trading address or even your lawyer's address or your accountant's address. You have to have at least one director. They don't need to be in the UK, but we always advise them they have to have someone in the UK to at least show that they're interested in the UK and someone's here. And how the shares are kind of split as well. So the holding company, the Indian company might hold, I don't know, 50%, but the UK company might hold 50%. And to check with the SIC code as well. As well. So this all generally takes around £50 to do, and a professional can do this for you. Or you can go online and do it as well. So there's loads of companies that can help you. Applying for visas, this is really important as well. We've got a great team that can work with you on your visa applications and advise on, but not really advise, talk you through the different options of how the visas are available to you, and obviously seek advice is what we say as well from professionals. And this can take up to 8 weeks, depending on the type of visas you want. Setting up a business bank account, guys, is key, and I would say the most frustrating thing we see from our investors. It's so hard to open a UK bank account. It is something that we're working on. It's because the UK is so stringent on its rules via AML, so anti-money laundering, and the Companies Act, etc., all dictate that this has to be done properly. my advice would be, if you've got a banking relationship with a bank which has a subsidiary in the UK, always go through that route. The home market will know who you are, and then they can pass the information on to the UK subsidiary, and that just makes the journey much easier. But equally, we've got connections in the UK that can help you. But do bear in mind, it does take time, and please have information available, because they will ask for a lot of information. You have to register for tax as well. So if your turnover is more than £90,000, you have to register for tax, and that takes typically a month to do. And again, your accountant can do that as part of your setup. Register for payroll as well. So you have to make payday, obviously, and pay your employees. Again, this generally takes 2 weeks, but your accountant can set all that up when you're setting up the business. Searching for properties, again, we can support you, and we've got partners like London Partners or other agencies across the UK that can help you find properties, and they might have discounts on rent, etc., and how to go about that as well. Recruitment of staff can take up to 16 weeks, but quicker. And again, we can help you with introductions on that side as well. Business insurance is really important as well. I think a lot of people forget about this, but you need to have business insurance in place. And again, you can just pick that up online, or again, when you're renting out the business or the premises or the kind of floor space, your landlord might be able to produce that or advise you on how to do it. Some ongoing obligations as well for you guys to consider. So you have to do annual returns and annual accounts. You have to do self-assessments and quarterly VAT returns as well. So when at the start, when I mentioned London is a key hub for UK as a selling point, it is true. But we have an incredible UK strengths across the UK, I would say. We always encourage our clients to have a look outside of London as well. We've got incredible local ecosystems such as Bristol, Leeds, Birmingham, Manchester, and even Newcastle, where I'm based today, along with our dissolved nations like Scotland. Edinburgh has a fantastic ecosystem, and of course, Cardiff in Wales as well. And again, this is something that we can discuss with you guys a bit more in depth as well. We've got some outstanding universities across the UK. We have a huge range of talent and industry expertise, employing over 2 million people, with 76,000 of them working alone in the fintech sector. We have a new generation of graduates as well, a bit like India, really hungry and really want to digitalize this traditional sector and really see how they want to bank in the future. And it's really, really interesting to see some of the universities and what they're working towards, and how their students are thinking about all this transformation, and how they can really modernize a traditional sector like the financial services sector. This is just a quick overview on some of the points. So London, again, as you can see, 64,000 financial and professional services firms call London their home. There's 776,000 jobs within London alone. There's 88,000 financial and professional services students study at London's premier universities. And like I said, just in 2029, London alone received 4 billion in fintech investment, and 37 of the fintech 50 are headquartered in London. Just shows the strength and the depth of London. The Midlands is a really interesting place as well. It's a very growing ecosystem. They have 89,000 obviously full-time employees, 122 fintech firms in West Midlands, and that's a 20% growth since 2010. And there's some incredible companies, as you can see in there as well. And we're seeing a lot of Indian companies interested in Birmingham as well, given the kind of diverse diaspora there as well. Northern Powerhouse is very interesting. So this is anything north of Birmingham, really. So Manchester, Leeds, Newcastle, Durham, they all have incredible appetite to attract new businesses. And according to World Bank data, this is quite interesting. The north of England will be the 9th biggest country in Europe by financial services GVA, making it larger than 30 other countries. So it's always worth having a conversation with us to see, is London the best place to have my business, or shall I look outside of London and tap into some of these exciting emerging ecosystems as well? So this is coming to the end of my presentation, sadly. So this is a couple of events I just wanted to highlight. So UK FinTech Week happens at the end of April. It's the premier FinTech Week for the UK. 1,500 attendees from 70 countries. I believe Zanessa and her team are bringing a delegation. I need to double check. I'm sure she'll correct me after this. There's a bespoke DBT day with keynote speakers and bespoke support as well to support your incoming. And there's actually a visit to Bristol as well to understand the regional ecosystem. London Tech Week is slightly down the road, so 19th to 13th of June. And again, it's a huge tech event. The last one, Rishi Sunak went to and opened it up. 45,000 attendees, 500 speakers, and it's a fantastic event to go to. And again, just reach out to us, guys, if you're interested in coming along, because I'm sure we can do. So it's been an absolute pleasure. My name is Jabir. It's been great speaking to you guys, and I look forward to answering any questions that you might have later on. I'll hand it back to Samir, who can take it forward, and Zanessa and Siddiqa. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. So just a quick point. I think I saw one or two hands getting up, and I'm sure there are more questions which will come. So my request to each one of you, please share your questions on the either the Q&A place or the chat place, and we will take those questions. Let me just ask one question right away, which Purav has shared. Is it mandatory to be registered as a UK entity to get FCA authorization, on can an Indian entity get it too? What if it is a UK EU entity? So it will be good for us to have a quick question answer to that. And also my request to all of you others, please share your questions. We will take those questions as we go forward as well.
Yeah, sure, Sabir. Thank you so much for the question. EU to UK, no, not now. We did have passporting regulations which expired, I believe, last year. So after Brexit, we allowed EU firms to operate in the UK for a very limited time, just so they can sort out their FCA licensing. But if you want to be FCA registered and regulated, and if you want to do FCA related activities, you have to be registered and regulated in the UK alone.
Yeah, excellent. Then we have, I think, a question coming from Sujay. Sujay, I have given you a right to speak as well. So if you want to ask a question, please go ahead and ask.
Thanks, Amit. Jabir, a question for you. So,
maybe Sujay, it'll be good for you to give a context or background about yourself,
Sure.
so that will help in people understanding from where you're coming, right?
Sure. So Jabir, I work with a fintech in India called FPL Technologies. They operate under the trade name OneCard. They're a leading fintech in the consumer credit space. And they work with banks in India, banks that are digital first in their approach, leveraging their balance sheet to be able to run credit card programs. And one of the things we are thinking about is international expansion using our model. And the question I guess I had is that in India, we are not a regulated entity. So we are a processor. We have our own processing stack. We are a program manager. We also have a consumer-facing platform. I understand that the UK also has, and basically in India, we work under the Reserve Bank's outsourcing guidelines as a technology service provider and an operational service provider. But we're not regulated by the Reserve Bank because we work with bank partners who are the regulated entities. Now, when we go to the UK, I'm aware that there are outsourcing guidelines that both the PRA and the FCA have. But would you be able to help with whether we need to be regulated in the UK by the FCA? Or can we just operate as a technology service provider?
Again, send me the details through, because obviously we're not FCA specialists. But what I would say is, if you are going to be dealing with the consumer directly, so if the consumers are going to be using your products, or the businesses via you are going to be using or if you're going to be lending the money to the consumers, you do need to be FCA registered and licensed. And again, it comes down to, do you know, when I was talking about the fee, there's a massive variation in fees. It just basically explains the complexity of your business. So it might just need a light touch FCA licensing, which will restrict you in some of the activities you can do. But if you are going to be fully lending to, if you're the end user for the clients, if your clients are using your money via the companies you're helping, then I do believe you need FCA licensing. And this is where we say we'll put you in touch with some of the consultants and regulators we work with just to thrash these ideas out to them, to discuss your business plan, and they'll be able to kind of guide you in this kind of way. And of course, the sound boxes will really help you understand and define your business model. So definitely get in touch, and we'd be more than happy to have a conversation and see what we can do.
Great. Thanks, Jabir. Thank you.
No
So
problem.
Sujay, what we will do is we'll offline plan a conversation between you and them so that you can take it forward from here, right? I think
That'll be helpful to me. Thank you.
I know that this cannot be solved on the calls. This is not on that purpose. It's not a typical webinar. You give knowledge and leave. This is actually about engagement. So we'll do that. I think there's also pointed that we are sharing maybe a feedback form where you can share details and we will come back to you and plan those meetings, because it's important that, again, these sessions are about engagement. So many of you may not speak, but may still have a lot of questions. So it will be good for you to just give a feedback. I think the link has already been shared by my team, Sakshi. So please go ahead and share your questions right away. Maybe Dipesh, your question, we'll take it after maybe this set of maybe next 10 minutes, and then we'll spend your question time on your question as well, Dipesh. Thanks for this question. I think it's very wider question as well, so I didn't want to widen up right now. Let's focus on the case studies as well. And before we proceed, over to you, Zanessa.
Thank you, Sameer. So I'd like to bring in Vivek Singhal here. Hi, Vivek.
Hello, hi Zanessa, hi everyone.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. A very warm welcome, Vivek, to this webinar, and thank you so much for joining us today. We are very excited to have you share Valuefy's case study with us. So let me start with asking you a few questions. I'll start with, what was your experience, Valuefy's experience of setting up in the UK?
And
Thank you, Zanessa.
just one question, maybe while you do that, just give a context about your firm as well and the business model as well, because for many, it'll be difficult to follow assets otherwise. Yeah, just maybe quick perspective. Sorry about that.
Sure, Sameer, I was anyways going to give the context. So, yes, so at Valuefy, we provide technology solutions to wealth managers and asset managers to manage their client lifecycle effectively. For example, onboarding, client servicing, portfolio advisory, rebalancing, trade execution, many things. So it's like a wealth in a box kind of a concept. And for 10 years, we had been doing successfully in India and other Asian markets. So come 2020, we were thinking of entering into global markets, primarily Europe, because when you look at Europe and Asia, there are 5 interconnected markets where the cross-border wealth happens, which are Singapore, Hong Kong, London, Zurich, and Dubai. So for us, London became a very, very conscious choice, because London, or let's say UK rather, UK makes us a very interesting choice because it's very well connected with the US markets and very well connected with the Dubai markets as well. But 2020, when we were deciding to enter into the European markets, the UK market, come COVID, and we were like, oh, my boss, how do we give air to our expansion plans now? But there entered DBT, who not just provided us a context of an overview of the London's or UK's regulatory landscape, but also handheld in terms of providing connects, the networks, the commercial partners, and making us aware of the various nuances. So DBT, along with the commercial partners, were very, very instrumental for Valuefy in setting our organization over there. So whatever Jabir mentioned in his presentations, like establishment, registration, VAT registration, bank accounts setup, visa, secondment process, so just name the process, and it was happening on the fly for us. And all that happened while we were sitting in India. We could just worry about one thing: how do we get business over there? That's it. Otherwise, all these regulatory headaches could take years and years. I remember when we did in other geographies, it was really a nightmare for us. And to do that very smoothly, that too during COVID time, was unimaginable. So yeah, I would say the overall experience was positive due to transparent regulatory framework and business-friendly environment, which was created for us by the DBT. Thanks for that, DBT.
Thank you, Vivek. My next question is, I think you've covered a bit of it in your answer, but I'll still ask, how was the support offered from DBT and how did it help Valuefy?
So I would say the support could be called as a coach, a mentor, a person who could be a navigator for us. I would just classify the support offered by DBT in these three words. So right from hunting to the right partner to filling up the paperwork. At times, what happens, Janice, is that there are small things in the paperwork for which you have to struggle. What do I write? What do I fill? So I think all the support was available to us. So yeah, I think this support was immense to us.
Thank you, Vivek. The next question is, what are the challenges that you all faced during your journey?
So challenge was really the unknown geography, and that too when you were setting up without physically being there was something which was giving jitters to us. But those challenges were really subsided. I think thankfully with the we could form alliances with the right partners at the right time. So apart from that, we really never faced any kind of hiccups. It was just that we were in an unknown territory.
Okay. And the last question that I have is, what tips or suggestions you would like to share with businesses looking to set up their business into the UK?
I would say reach out to DBT early in your journey. Even if you have a thought of expanding beyond India to other geography, so whether UK could be a potential territory or not, even DBT could help connect with the partners who can do an assessment over there. So they could be really transformative in your UK expansion journey. Second, I would say invest in reliable local partners. DBT has got a lot of partners in their network, so you could really meet them, understand the regulatory landscape, what could be the licenses applicable. Like one gentleman was asking, what are the licenses applicable to them? So at times it becomes very difficult whether in India these licenses are applicable, whether it would be applicable for us in UK, or if not applicable in India, whether I would still need to do compliance in UK or not. So some of these answers could give us a nightmare, and we are just doing an internal thinking without being on the floor. So yes, I would say reach out to DBT well in advance. So, and the last is be prepared for a very different compliance environment. This is not what you could imagine like an extension of an Indian regulatory environment. It could be very different. The terms and concepts could be different. For us, luckily, there was something called an R&D grant, which was available from the UK government, and something that was not available to us in India. So yes, we could leverage that for us in a very positive way. And I would say allocate sufficient time and resources for proper market entry, what you are signing up for. I think that's what I would give a suggestion. Otherwise, UK is a very good market. I think the market where we need to be in for our global expansion, or at least European expansion per se.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your experience with the wider audience. I'd also like to add that DBT not only handhold companies on the journey from the beginning, but once you're set up in the UK, we also do aftercare. And I think Vivek will second that. That like Jabir did display on one of the slides where there's a UK FinTech Week and the London Technology Week taking place, and we keep all our companies that we have worked with updated on all the events that are happening, and that we could give them various networking opportunities. So I'd like to open the floor for questions now.
Yeah. So I think before we get there, maybe Vivek, from us, because you work on a WealthTech framework. So one is the regulated side and non-regulated side. What's your take on areas where you think that Indian startups or fintechs can enter the market based on whatever you know?
See, I would say, Sameer, at times there's a perception that startups need to go through certain stage of the cycles. Okay, once you cross some kind of a Series A, B, C, or you have got a certain turnover or a profitability, you are ready to enter into the UK market. But that really is not the case in my experience. Our stage was none of this. What I just mentioned. We were a very we were having a very robust product and the service in the Asian market, and on the backing of that, we were able to enter into the UK market. So I would say that it is agnostic of any kind of a stage, but you just need to understand what the players over there really want. What are the really problems that you're trying to solve, and what you could potentially solve? How does that fit into your roadmap and the journey? And then just make an educated call and enter over there.
Okay, excellent, excellent. I think then Dipesh was asking question specifically. This is maybe to the DBT team. So Dipesh had a question that what is the market size of fintech and what are the kind of gaps you see in UK market which Indian startups can actually fulfill? Any quick high level thoughts, because I think some of them very domain focused. But any specific points from DBT team you have on this? And Dipesh runs is a co-founder of LendIn Club, one of the largest P2P lending platform in the country.
Yeah, Dipesh, thank you so much for the question. The size of the UK fintech market is about 25 billion and growing. So there's a huge opportunity in the UK. In terms of what Indian companies are always seeing is, payments, SME lending is another big one. Green finance is a big one, and also lean on your expertise. So, um, hello. Yeah, sorry. Again, just lean on your expertise. So we're seeing a lot of companies who do plugin, can do AI initiatives. So really, what is happening in India? Try and bring that over to the UK. I know it's test the market, and again, we're here to kind of look through the business plans with you, to discuss the business plans and give you an overview. As part of the presentation, I don't know if I mentioned it, but apologies if I didn't. But as part of the initial conversation, we can do bespoke reports for you guys, so we can look at the market for you. We can have a look at who else is in the market, the size of the market you're looking to get into, and the opportunities, the regulatory barriers that you might face, and how the overall market looks for your clients. So we'll be able to produce all these bespoke reports as well. So we always say get in touch, but I think what's happening in India, yeah, test it out in the UK, because there's loads of opportunities, and India is a huge market, and we always get surprised to see how innovative the firms are out there, and you'd be surprised at how easily adaptation levels might be.
Perfect. So Dipesh, if you have want to ask any more question before we proceed, you can go ahead and ask. Otherwise, we'll continue.
No, that's all for now, Samir. I'll catch up again on this. Thank you so much. Yep.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Dipesh. I think then we move to Ashok. Ashok had a question. So let me see if I can get Ashok to speak. Ashok, you can try to speak as well by unmuting yourself, or I'll take your question. Okay, if you're facing problem with it, maybe the question I'll repeat. What are the prerequisites of working with banks in UK? If you want to provide plug and play APIs to enable banks to cross sell insurance products during loan disbursement, are there any specific licenses which are required for Indian companies to have that? I think my understanding is that Ashok must be in an embedded finance, embedded insurance firm or a platform, and he will right now be aggregating these insurance firms on APIs. There are a lot of them in India, including Zopper and Discovery and others. So he's trying to figure out if there are similar equivalent opportunities in UK market.
Yes, we are seeing quite a lot of plug-in companies in the UK. I think it's always going to be hard to get into banks, guys. You know, it is tough to get into banks because you can imagine there's so many players, and some of the well-established banks, they've got their own development teams within house. But the likes of Association for Foreign Banks, the ones we can introduce you to, they work with foreign banks in the UK. So some of these banks might not have the opportunities that some of these larger banks have, and that's where you can step in and provide some of these plug-in services and SaaS requirements that these banks might need, or the technological advancements. So, um, do you need a license? Potentially not, because you're just going to be providing an API. But like I said, get in touch through Samir, and we can look into it a bit more in depth, and we can take it from there.
Sure, sure. I think beyond, I mean, because other countries are also trying, and I'm just filling in. If there are more questions, please do ask this question on the chat, or you can actually raise your hand, and we will pick your question as well. I've also sent a link out again for a feedback. Now, primarily the intent of that feedback session is to understand if you're interested in entering UK market. If yes, I think our team will organize meeting with the DBT as well, so that the engagement can take it forward. Primarily from at least next step perspective, if you need any guidance, that's why it'll be good to have. I think maybe if one of you, maybe Siddhika or Jabir, could guide us on this. I mean, beyond India, what are the other countries which have seen success? And if there is any real big success you would want to call out in the UK market coming from outside the market, outside UK.
Yeah, interesting. Obviously, the US is obviously a big market for us. So we do a lot of stuff with the US fintechs, insurtechs, regtechs. Europe is again an emerging market. We're seeing a lot from Germany coming through. France and Spain remain traditional, but equally we're seeing a lot of interest from GCC region. So I've just helped a Saudi Arabian fintech payments company land in the UK. They're a unicorn in Saudi Arabia. They're registered as a SME support company from the Saudi government, so that they're quite reputable. And again, they're just offering us a payment solution, which is quite innovative, targeting SME market, and their own kind of the Saudi market in the UK. Interestingly, we saw a lot of interest from Brazil as well. They're quite open on open banking, embedded finance. So they're looking to bring some solutions in the UK as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Maybe we will take this last question from Pankaj Gaikwad. What are the compliance requirements for holding custody of physical gold in partnership with UK vaults? So in India, there are certain companies which do this activity where basically they digitize the gold. There are entities like Save Gold which do that. I think MMTC and few more guys do that in the country. They're looking at if this gold can also be digitized in UK market. So if you have any idea about it, go ahead. Otherwise, we will. I think it's very specific because Indian market, I know how it operates, but maybe it's very specific to fintech market, right? So I think Pankaj, this weekend, you can give us as a request, and we'll plan a meeting. Maybe if you were to enter Indian market, I would have given you tons of advice, but not other way around. I'm also not ready, but maybe this we'll take it offline. I think maybe last bite from my side. I think if Siddhika or Jabir or Zenas, anything else you want to share with these participants as we run into the last 1 or 2 minutes of the session, it'll be good to have. And of course, coordinates have already been shared by Zenas as well.
Just a very thank you to you, Samir, for organizing this, to everyone who's kind of logged in to watch this session. I hope it was useful. And yeah, as Anes has put the details in the chat, please do get in touch with us via Samir or directly, and we look forward to hopefully working with you guys going forward.
No, thank you, and thanks everyone for such a direct and frank inputs on guidance. I think thanks to all the participants who joined. I think it's a very serious subject. Otherwise, why would you join this such a drab session, right? It's what it is, entering into the market. We are trying to enter another market, and I know how troublesome I feel as I enter that market. I think UK market is also on the agenda for us, but maybe some other time, because we need to get bigger as well. But this is an interesting session, and I think I am very happy to see the kind of progress which Verify is making in the market as well. So thanks, Vivek, for joining as well. I think the content is already with us. If you are interested, please do share your feedback, and we'll share the deck as well, which Jabir was presenting, and looking forward to collaborating with all of you. We will try to ensure that the linkages are set between India and UK, and we grow together as well. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you. See you. Bye.